Good evening, my name is Ruben Vasquez. I am presenting for Advanced Addictions Counseling ADC 6685, July 2016 term. Trying to present the session of the goal is going to be an application of solution-focused therapy in a counseling session with my son Ryan. The techniques that I'm hoping to utilize in the video will be having a problem identification of SFT, use of the miracle question, exception questioning, scaling questions, and steps for change behavior or behavior changes. Thank you. Well, Ryan, thanks for coming in today. How about if we start with what brings you in here today?
Well, I know it's summer, so I wanted to come here because I had some stress in the previous year, and it was with school stresses, so I wanted to try to see if I can use the stresses from there to apply to this year to see if I can do a lot better, because this year really is going to count for me.
So basically try and reduce the amount of stress. You having problems with like setting goals and meeting the goals and expectations of all your classes?
Yes.
So, okay, that's great. So, what makes you, what feelings do you get when you're getting stressed out? And is it overwhelmed that the feeling that you get? What feelings are you?
I'm not really trying to like feel anything. I'm just maybe a little bit frustrated sometimes. Sometimes just. If it's something really going wrong in my day, probably, and it's really stressing me out, but I'm upset in a way. And
anger.
Anger.
So anger, frustration. What else?
Other than that, I mean, I'm not really feeling anything. I'm just trying to find another answer.
So just anger, frustration, stress, and just trying to be able to cope with all the demands of what you're trying to accomplish in school. Now, right. You know, as we discussed, I mean, you are going through a lot of challenges.
Yes.
And you're going through high school. You're taking a very big curriculum, which you are an AB student, which requires a lot of your grades are great, so there's a lot of homework. You prepare well. There's a lot of challenges because you're trying to be a Sea Cadet, because you're trying to go into the Naval Academy, so you have a busy schedule with that. You also have the expectations of preparing for the SAT. You have a physical conditioning that you have to meet, so you are under a lot of stress, and I can see where it would create challenges and frustrations for you whenever you don't meet the goals. What happens when you don't meet those goals? You said anger, frustration, and stress, right? Okay.
I won't really show those really. I mean, I'll just probably keep it to myself, and I'll just wait for the answer.
So you keep that to yourself.
Yes, I don't show it to anyone.
That's why you like to come in here so that we can talk about it and hopefully find some ideas to be able to.
Yes.
So now I'm going to ask you a hypothetical question. Let's just say that you go to sleep tonight, and tomorrow morning when you wake up, all that stress, or let's say that going to school, when your school year starts, when everything starts and everything starts piling up, and you know that your work and your homework and Sea Cadets and SAT and preparing for this and the amount of stress. All of a sudden you go to sleep, the next morning it's gone. Everything is solved. A big weight's been released out of your shoulders, and you don't have that stress anymore, and you feel great. How would you know that happened, or that miracle happened?
Alright, well, let me start with saying this. In Sea Cadets, you don't really know there's no way to get rid of stress in Sea Cadets, because the point of it is you're supposed to, I'm supposed to give stress to people, like, for example, yelling at them, and then I actually have to go to trainings, and some of them, like, if you really screw up, like the field ops trainings.
Okay, but, this is a hypothetical question. You gotta go to sleep, the next morning you wake up,
it's all gone?
It's all gone. Everything is all gone. How would you know that it's all gone? How would you know that miracle happened?
Well, one of my primary focuses is on the SAT, so it would also be implying that I'm in school, and I'd taken a recent SAT score, so I'd be getting the score, and I know that I did well. And also, my grades would be, I'd be able to go into school and be able to know like what I'm doing exactly, as like giving you a step-by-step instruction on how to build a helicopter. Like you automatically know what you're doing. The most complicated thing in the world to build. You have a step-by-step process. You know absolutely what you're doing. You have no stress.
So you would know direction.
You would know direction. I would know direction.
So what other things would be different?
I'd have more time, like for family and friends, and like for Sea Cadets for sure. because I like to be in Sea Cadets, and it's a really good program. And
So you enjoy Sea Cadets a lot.
I enjoy Sea Cadets. They're very, very demanding, but it's very, very productive.
So you would say that brings you a lot of satisfaction.
It very much does.
Okay. Now, looking back at this miracle that just happened, what do you think, just a hypothetical question, would be an idea for that change could happen? Do you think that's realistic that could happen?
Could it happen? Yes, it could, but it's like one of those. It's like a shot in the dark sometimes.
So, what would you do to be able to make that change?
What I would do? Well, to start is I'm going to focus on the SAT. SAT is a big problem. It's a big part of me getting admission to the United States Naval Academy. So, nice one.
Yeah.
So, one thing I do Khan Academy, and what I like to do is I like to prepare on it. And I like to go through. Just give me 20 questions a day, and I do those. Sometimes I do more. Spend maybe an hour on it. And that'll be it. So I'd spend more time on that maybe. It would help a lot more though if I had an instructor to come in or someone just to help me and point out how it all works and how I can get used to it, because some of the stuff that I'm doing on here, it's just not in a way that I would understand at all when they give it to me. And also I'll plan on taking another extracurricular activity so I can get into the Naval Academy, so knowing that I actually got in and I actually can conceive that would that I actually am conditioned enough.
Now, I'm going to ask you what we call it's an exception question. And at what times during all this stress and all these challenges you faced going through school, and maybe in the next year you're going to feel, or just looking back at what you've gone through, which you're doing great, by the way, but at what time, at what moment have you actually felt like you've met those goals?
Well, I met those goals the days you get I remember a day where I actually got a really passing score on a test on an AP board. Now let me put it to you this way: I never get a passing my passing score is a 60%, so I usually get a 60%, but this time I actually got an 82. And this was on the first try. I never really get this on the first try ever. That was the only time. It was on World War I and II, so I was really happy about that. And also I took a math test that day and I got 100, so I was really glad about that because I really bumped up my grade. And then I was able to get home, and I had done all my homework. Everything was complete for the whole week. I got a little bit of work for the next week that I was able to get rid of.
So knowing that you're well prepared for your tests, and then all that work that goes into that test, and then at the end of the day, once those tests are done, you have time to be able to take a breather and just appreciate all the accomplishments of what you've accomplished. Am I listening to you correctly?
Yes.
Okay. Now, so that was one day that brought you joy. So you were able to get good grades on both of those tests, have time to be able to spend with our family, and spend time with the Sea Cadets, which do your activities that you do with Sea Cadets, and that was a positive day.
Right.
Now, and how would you tell that was different? What do you think you did that was different for you to be able to make sure that you got that day?
Honestly, I don't even know how to answer that one. I don't. It's just one of those lucky days for me. That was just I got in, and I was doing everything I normally did. It's just I actually applied more this time because things were going more my way. Stuff was getting done. I went into that test, and I thought actually I was gonna. A lot of people thought they were going to get a bad grade, and we all got a good grade.
So in an essence, sometimes it may not be that you're always going to feel good, but at least you know that the work that you're doing, at least you know that it's going to bring. There's going to be a time that once the work that you're putting together, and you meet those goals of the grades and all that, there's going to be one day here and there that you're going to have complete satisfaction, which every now and then those goals are attainable.
Right.
Yeah. So
yeah,
now,
I know what I'm doing. It's just some days that you don't get it.
Great. Now I'm going to ask you a scoring question. It's called a scaling question, and we're going to grade it from 1 to 10. Okay. On a 1 to 10 score, I want you to tell me 1 being the lowest, it's not really me, to a number 10, which is I can do that, a number 10 that you can accomplish something like that. How confident are you that you can eliminate that stress? That on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you that you can eliminate that stress?
7.
A 7. So so you're pretty confident that by working hard, you can eventually meet those goals of eliminating that stress.
Right, but
Okay.
then looking at it again, it's kind of like getting a C on a test because it
Correct.
is a 70%. It's a passing grade, but I mean, you want to be able to do better.
Now, I'm going to ask you a different one, different scaling question, and this one's going to be on a 1 to 10 grade scale. So, now, how confident are you that you can make those changes to eliminate that stress, to either work harder or be able to continue to meet the expectations to be able to get that 10, of how that you're willing to make that change to be able to eliminate that stress?
I say about a 9.
Okay, so you really want to make that change. You
I
really
wanna-
want to work hard to get that change. That's great. So you know that Sea Cadets was a big influence for you.
Yes.
So you know that probably your grades are a very important part of it. And you know you're going to have to work hard, and so by working your schedule correctly and working within Sea Cadets and getting a good score on the SAT, if I hear you correctly, that's a big source of stress.
Yes.
And your grades are a big source of stress, would allow you to spend more time with family and enjoy the things for Sea Cadets that you want to do.
Right.
Now, what would you think would be the biggest, the first steps that you can take to make sure you meet that goal?
I could probably spend a little bit more time, maybe a few more questions with the Khan Academy, have someone help me out too on it. Also,
Ask for help.
Ask for help. Well, I mean, yes. Yeah, I take that back. Yes,
Okay.
I would help more.
What else?
Spend I know I gotta take another extracurricular activity, so spending more time to actually prepare for that, so actually get in. So
Preparing for extracurricular, having more time.
having more time to prepare for it, having more time for anything in general, because then more time, more practice, and more leisure.
Okay. I guess for now we can summarize. Do you feel that you were able to talk about some of these issues and try and set initial goals, some small goals, so that we can start working on it?
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, and it was great talking with you, and we're all done. Thank you very much.